Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm once again using my phone to read the chat for this stream, and so hopefully this is connected well enough to be giving me real-time chat, because my phone has had weird problems with the Wi-Fi in my house. But anyway, I'm gonna do my best. Actually, I'll put that right over here. And get started with some Zelda photos today. So this is what won today's poll. I was hoping that I would finish another photo shoot over this past weekend, but then I spent all of my time working on sets instead. So those are still my goals, is to work towards getting ready for a photo shoot this coming weekend. So on Saturday, my plan is to live stream that photo shoot happening in my living room. So that will be something that everybody can enjoy, I hope. Hey guys, a lot of people in the chat. So many people. Thank you guys for showing up and being here. So I picked out a couple different photos to edit. We're using Photoshop today, and I'm gonna start with frequency separation to fix up skin, just any kind of little blemishes and stuff. So I'm gonna do that first. Hopefully we'll get through all of these photos today. If not, then we'll get through what we do, but I'm excited to do some more editing on these because this was one that I had a lot of really good shots from this, and a lot of them were Zelda and Midna together, and so I kind of prioritized doing those, and I didn't finish a lot of the solo shots of myself, so that's what we're working on today. And sorry if my face cam is kind of dark. I decided not to turn on my webcam ring light because it makes it harder for me to edit and look at the screen. So I'm gonna try to give myself a little bit more stamina today. So what I did first was use this frequency separation tool that I created by following a tutorial on YouTube. So you can look that up if you are interested in that. Otherwise, I'm just gonna be editing and be chatting. And I'll talk about what I'm doing a little bit if anybody has questions, but it's more about just chilling together, I hope. I'm drinking my green milk, my matcha. Okay, so I have the healing brush tool, and I am going to basically remove the texture layer temporarily so that we're looking at before I do healing brush, I'm actually going to start with the dodge tool. So I'm going to do a little bit of dodging and burning, basically. Hey, what do we have there? To Fam10 just subscribed with Twitch Prime. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Okay, we have a really, really low exposure setting of 2% and midtones. We're working with the midtones. I'm going to make the brush smaller. Maybe slightly larger than that. And then just start like painting in areas where I want the color to be a little bit brighter and less shadow, which is mainly like in the front areas of the face, under the eye, of course, where eye bags are plaguing me constantly. So yeah, just brightening up this eye area to start with, and then we'll add the texture back in, and I mean we'll make that layer visible again. It didn't actually go anywhere. This is just kind of a temporary view. Yeah, got a lot on my plate this week, which is always true. I mean, which is makes for a good week when I'm super active and I have a lot that I'm working on. But my main priority right now, aside from my regular streaming schedule, is just getting ready for my shoot this weekend, which is mainly, I'm currently mainly focused on getting the set and the backdrops and all of that put together. Let's see how that looks. Turning it on and on, you can see a lot of the shadows in the face are a lot lighter. It looks a bit clearer overall. There's something weird going on with the nose. It might just be my contouring is a little bit too visible in this photo. I need to investigate that. let me check out the chat, what we were talking about. Margaret Fowle was asking, what music are we listening to today? This is, as usual, Radio Cutman, which you can find this playlist by just searching YouTube for Radio Cutman, and it's an ongoing stream that's all, you know, good music for streaming. Hello, Reaper Titanium, nice to see you back here. Pinkthorn sewing today. Well, enjoy your working. I hope everybody has some sort of interesting artistic project that they're up to. I'm gonna hold off trying to fix whatever like weird kind of nose thing is happening here until I put the layers back together, probably, because I'm not sure if that's a texture or a color issue. Try to make this a little bit smoother down here. Okay, so now I'm going to use my healing brush tool, which is what I started preparing earlier, but then I decided to dodge first instead, and we will zoom in even more. So this is just like a process of kind of blending colors in a way that's designed to smooth it out visually. And the frequency separation is a process that basically, it's called separation of texture and color. That's kind of how they refer to it in the tutorial that I followed. So I won't pretend to know like every bit about the theory behind it. That looks weird. I don't like that. I'm doing that. But the general idea is that you're able to smooth out the color and then smooth out the like texture separately, and what that does is just makes it look a little bit more seamless compared to if you were trying to use a healing brush tool or a clone tool or something on the skin overall. Hey! Pro Jared just subscribed with a tier 1 sub. Thank you. Subscribed for 11 months in a row. Close to that 1 year. Well, thank you. Nice to see you here, Jared. I guess you're done recording, or maybe I'm just distracting you from your work. But yeah. So I'm just trying to blend the tones of the skin together. And it's a little bit tedious, but even though it sounds weird, it's definitely worth doing the right way. I've already done some dodging and burning in general, and although the pics that I'm working on right now have been through Lightroom already, so they've had like a first initial pass of editing for like some color grading and some blemish removal from the face already, but for this particular technique that I'm using, it's something you have to do in Photoshop. As far as I'm aware, I don't know, there might be some way to do it in Lightroom, but I'm not aware of it. So we're doing things in Photoshop today. So this is kind of like my second pass at editing a lot of the photos, and kind of working on fine-tuning them a little bit more compared to other photos where, if you've seen other streams where I'm working in Lightroom, in those kinds of streams I'm like working with photos that are usually more just like straight out of the camera. Jared took this photo, by the way, since Jared stopped in to say hey to the chat. This is a photo by Pro Jared, the Pro Jared. And so we kind of work together to do this kind of stuff, where I do the editing on the photos and he is the one pressing the shutter. And we plan the shoots together, which is nice. Because we've learned how to kind of communicate our ideas and figure out what we like as far as photography style and editing and stuff. It's been really fun to work together on this. Hello, DJ Alex. Hello everybody who's showing up now. So yeah, it might be a little bit hard to see changes as I'm making them because they're pretty subtle, but the idea here is that I'm kind of generally blending this section to kind of make the skin smoother. And so let's turning it on and off. I've been working in like these areas. You can get a better idea of what the effect is doing. It's making the face just like a little bit brighter overall. It's not changing the features, but it's like making the lighting more flattering in the image. So going back to that. It is 3 p.m. where I am, so it is a nice, beautiful afternoon here. Sochin saying, it must be nice to be able to collab with your partner creatively. That is absolutely true. It's been really fun to make art together. Ah, delicious. So yeah, it's been a pretty good Monday here. For me, most of my time has gone to building these sets, and so I'm still working toward our goal of funding the last of the pillars that I am working on. Ooh, I should have put a coat of paint on that before I started the stream. Oh well, I'll do that afterward. Yeah, it's been a pretty relaxing day overall. I was just kind of preparing myself mentally for this and making sure I had photos ready to go that I wanted to work on. I have many other plans in store, so that's what's been on my mind for a large part, is like all the different photo sets I'm going to do and all the photo shoots that will be happening. That one looks weird. I don't like that. Sometimes I go back, sometimes I'm like, it's not correct looking. If you see a little bit too much repetitiveness in the colors and kind of the way that they interact. That looks weird too at the end. Okay, better. Oh, Reaper Titanium in France. It's already Tuesday. Ooh. Interesting. Interesting. Yes, it is a matcha latte. This one is like a homemade or home mixed kind of like powder that you just buy at the grocery store. So this isn't the same thing as, well, it's probably pretty similar to what you get at Starbucks. I think they just put it in milk, but a different mixture. And theirs is also like way sweeter and more, I don't know, just like artificially sweetened. So I like this mix, honestly.
You think you have a chance against me and all my men?
It's like not blending well enough. Undo some of that. Okay. I'm also going to just actually use the blur tool selectively here, but in areas that are being a little bit stubborn, for creating like a smooth transition between different colors and areas. This is like a subtle way of making the skin look less lumpy, and when I put the texture back on, it won't look all blurry like this. But it just makes the skin overall look more, I don't know, like statuesque or something. But you're not losing the definition of the features, or at least you shouldn't be, and you don't want to take it so far that there are no shadows in the face. Like, I'm not removing like all of like an under eye shadow or an under cheek shadow. Like, you want the features to remain defined, but you can remove some of like the darker areas to like return them to more of a tone where they blend with the rest of the values in the face, and it just makes it a lot less unflattering. You look less tired. Thank you, What's Up Molly, saying the cosplay photos that we do always look so gorgeous. I appreciate that. I'm kind of new-ish to handling my photos as much as I do now. So I've been learning a lot as we go. But I've been really happy with what we've been able to produce. And so that's why I'm putting so much effort into, like, sorry, not just building the sets, like backdrops and stuff, also the costumes themselves, obviously, but also into these editing streams and just trying to do as much as I can to educate myself on every aspect of this, you know, to make the photos better. So we'll see. Here we go with the finished version. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. So this is pretty much most of the face. I'm still going to do something about this weird shadow on my nose, but this is a before and after on what I've done since we started the stream, where you just kind of remove some of the unflattering shadows, like around the bottom of the face, like the underside of like these areas that are, yeah, less flattering. So there we go. I'm gonna look at this texture layer and see if that's gonna help us with the weirdness in the face. When did I start doing cosplay? I started cosplay in like 2012, at least for making my own costumes that, well, yeah, that was pretty much when I started wearing like actual costumes instead of just like festive outfits to conventions. That was a little weird. I don't like that. I don't like that either. I don't like any of this. Alright, let me see. I might just dodge and burn the whole thing together because it doesn't seem like this is having much of an effect. I'm gonna... Oh, I'm still on the color layer. That's why this isn't working. I think having like undone the history kind of resets the layer that you're selecting to, and I hate it when it does that because I always get tricked. Okay, but we're back in business. This is working. And I'm selecting the correct layer that I'm trying to work on. So now I'm just like kind of cleaning up the texture area, or the texture layer. I don't want to do as much work on this layer because you lose the realistic texture of the skin. But I am trying to smooth out areas where you see like weird, like small imperfections and lumps and stuff that's just like left over from trying to smooth out the color. What was my first cosplay? My first like actual cosplay that was complete was Miss Aubrey from Dance Central, because Jared was super into that game at the time. Oh, that was many years ago. That one I made using a lot of stuff from like thrift stores. Like that one wasn't made from scratch because I was just learning how to sew. So that was the first one that I like put together on my own, but was actually accurate-ish. Like it looked like it was supposed to, and it was complete, and it had all the pieces. You know, I'm sure I would do a much better job now, but I don't actually want to do that costume again. But I had a good time with it. Cool, I actually got that whole mole to go away. That's nice. Do I have sponsors or partners now? I guess sort of, yeah. I was just selected for a seasonal rep position for Hey Cutso, or Cutso is the company. Hey Cutso is their Instagram, which is how you can find them easily and browse through like what they do, which is they're like an indie pattern company, so they create sewing patterns. And so what I will do with them is just, you know, make one of their patterns, and I'll probably do it on stream here, and you'll be able to see the process, and it'll just be me, you know, making something cute that is kind of a collaboration with them. So I do that. I also work with Arta Wigs. They provided all of the wig materials for this costume that you see here. And so they do provide, yes, I need to save this. They do provide wig materials to me periodically for certain costumes, but not all of the costumes that I have. So usually that is like denoted somewhere, although sometimes I forget to put it on every single photo. But this is one of them. These are all Arta wig materials. Have I seen the sequel to Spice and Wolf, Wolf and Parchment? I have not. Oh my goodness, this is the first I've heard of that. Is this real life? I love Spice and Wolf. All right, I'm pretty happy with the skin changes here. It looks pretty smooth. I mean, any kind of changes beyond this point would just kind of take out the fine details of like what makes it look human. I'm not trying to look like some kind of perfect doll. I mean, although I did just take out a lot of imperfections. But like overall, I want to maintain like a human kind of, I don't want it to be uncanny in its like perfection. So I'm gonna copy this group and merge it together, and then make additional changes to this, starting with the hair. Oh, it is a book. Okay. I haven't, yeah, okay, so that just hasn't been made into an anime, I take it. Yeah, I know that they had manga, like a whole series for Spice and Wolf, but I never read that. And I have not seen the sequel, but that makes me quite curious. I don't want to get rid of like every single hair. I just want to get rid of the ones that are like particularly distracting, which is in this case ones that are like sticking out from the head. Like ones that are like running along with the rest of the hair, I think help to contribute to a sense of like natural, like a more natural vibe, because it looks more like real hair. But compared to like this one, that one's not doing any favors. But like this one looks just like it's a part of the rest of what's going on here. And if it were too perfect looking, then it wouldn't look real. So our goal is to have, you know, just enough of that sort of like realness, but also look like, you know, a video game character as much as we can. That's my goal anyway. I'm trying, doing my best. Do I ever edit my photos to look funny for my own amusement, as says Excelia? Not really. I don't really do, like, I don't know, blooper photos. It's weird to call it that. That's what I think of that being more like video. Outtakes, I guess, in general of like, oh, this was when I was making a funny face. Although I did post some of that to my Instagram stories not that long ago. I'm wondering if I should just take out this whole business. Should I take out this whole business? I don't want to like make my hair look too overly edited. There's a lot going on here that is distracting, which we said was our benchmark for what goes and what stays. So let's take a look at this again. Alright, let's see how it looks. I'm going to actually just do a copy. I just made a copy of this layer, and so now I'm going to continue to edit it without the fear of losing whatever spot I was in that I might have liked better if I continued made changes to this that I don't like. Well, that didn't look good. Let's just take out this whole business and see how it goes. I need to take a look at that, but otherwise, I think that's a positive choice. Oh, those could stay. And that could help it make a little bit. Yeah, I like that. Okay. I need to clean this up still, but it's gonna look okay, I think. And it's not like... I don't know. Like, you don't want to misrepresent, like, the work or, like, what the costume looks like, but I do use editing to, like, clean up little things like this. I just still want it to be, like, a fair representation of what I made, which, if you look at the difference, I would say that's still definitely true. I mean, it's the wig. Just trying to clean up little things. Reaper Titanium was thinking I would be perfect for a Ciri cosplay. That's something to consider from The Witcher. I really like the designs from The Witcher, but I haven't played it, so I probably wouldn't cosplay it without playing it. But I'll keep that in mind because I do like the designs. Hey Red Bard, welcome. You can pinpoint the moment that I decided to only do bald characters because I got so tired of working on this. And these hair strands. I mean, this is mostly getting rid of them. There's probably like better or more sophisticated ways to do this, but I'm just not aware of it. So, it's also already like there's a slight blurred aspect to it that was natural. That's not just something that got made that way due to the editing. So that gives us a little bit more leeway with, you know, how the final one looks. There we go. Up here, I'm also gonna get rid of just a couple, the prominent ones. Hey, what was that? Hey, Sparkline Cosplay! Donated $5. Thank you so much. What was the... this is what I wanted. It keeps reloading the page on me when I try to subscribe, so take this instead. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And I love your cosplay. I recently followed you on Instagram, and I like what you've been doing with your Zelda, I believe, that you're working on. Okay, that's like mainly... It's like calmed down. Let me do a small amount of blurring to this area and see if I'm okay with that. Which is just to kind of get rid of some of the more repetitive look of some of this. It's not really sharp right here anyway. It looks a little bit... It looks okay. I don't know, that's a bit much. Maybe I don't want it to be blurred. Let me try it like half strength. I kind of like that. It gives me a little bit more control over the blur. It's a more controlled blur. So I don't want to overdo it, but just a little bit. I think that's okay. Oh, I also was going to make changes to the nose now that I've got all the layers together. Well, good luck with your Zelda Sparkline, or Sparkling. You can correct my pronunciation if I'm incorrect. And yeah, it looks really great. Revival Ian is asking if I've been watching anything anime or TV wise at the moment. Not really. I've been really focused on working on this stuff, honestly. So there's a little bit like too much brightness right here and a little bit too much shadow right here, which I think is just a part of my contouring that ended up looking awkward. So I'm going to dodge and burn. So I'm gonna make this small brush, 0% hardness, exposure at like 2%, not a lot, working in the midtones, and just kind of try to darken the area that's too bright and brighten the area that's too dark. And do the same thing here, kind of in reverse.
Open. Oh, yes. Oh,
So this is just to even things out a little bit.
Open sesame.
And I'm taking it all the way into small areas here. Trying to smooth out that contour a little bit. I don't like to do a lot of changes to the face. There we go. You can see the difference when I turn this layer on and off. So it's not a huge difference, but it does kind of get rid of the like weird shaping, or it looked like something weird was going on there. Okay, while I'm also in this super zoomed in view, well, I'm actually gonna bring it in tighter on the eyes and do a tiny little bit of cleanup, not too much because we don't want to totally get rid of like all imperfections. I'm gonna do this at like 5%. Yes, I'm on dodge. I am brightening up like these little bitty veins in the eyes, but only brightening them to this like natural eye color, which is not a super bright white. I'm just trying to generally clean up so it looks less like mottled, if that's a good word for it. So this area looks a little bit cleaner, but not over the top. Perfect. So there's the difference. It's a little bit brighter, but hopefully not in a really fake way. Hi, Crepheus. Pinkthorn calling it a night. Well, thank you for coming and hanging out with us. We'll see ya. Alright, other eye, and then we can get out of this like super over the top zoomed in view. I might do a tiny bit of desaturating too, because there's like these are little blood vessels in the eyes, which for me are usually kind of prominent, which I hate. This is why we're getting rid of them right now. And so it's looking a little bit pink in one of these areas where there was a blood vessel. So I'm gonna take another tool nearby, sponge tool on desaturation mode. It is already pretty small, but I want to make it even smaller. Flow is pretty high, but I'm only gonna like quick hit 1 or 2 spots. Boom, that was even too much, I think. There we go, I'm satisfied with that. Zooming out, and the eyes don't look alien or like crazy bright, so that's good. I did not actually brighten my irises, like that's just how the photo was taken. There was quite a bit of light in the shot. Hey Dragsaw, welcome. Yes, Revival Jan, which is extreme close-up. We're doing well today. I am doing well today anyway. I'm working on some Zelda photos. Trying to make magic with these. Excelia just heard their cat puking under the sofa. I was like rudely awoken by Aries this morning, and he was on the bed and he started doing that thing where he's like lurching and you know he's gonna puke. So I was like, Aries, no, don't do it! And like reached for him, and it spooked him so badly that he jumped off the bed and he no longer puked. I think it like scared the puke back into him, but he did not puke right after that. He might have puked later after that, and I just don't know it yet. but I haven't searched the house yet for potential puke spots. Hello, Yoko Butt. Welcome. Yeah, there's my my story about how I almost, but not quite, I narrowly avoided getting puked on this morning, I guess is a better way of saying it. So zooming back out, this is what the whole photo is looking like right now. I'm pretty into it. I don't usually do a lot of like fake effects to things, but I really like how this is like glowing, and I was wondering if I should try just to kind of like you know, mess around a little bit. I want to try a few things. So first of all, the first thing I'm going to try is a curves layer on this. I've already done adjustments to this, you know, type of thing in Lightroom, but this photo itself didn't get like 100% individual attention. So I'm looking at adding some curves layers, one or two, to get everything like to kind of like really have the brightness and the shadows and the highlights fine-tuned. Hairball ejection, says Annabis Ash. Yeah. I think he's doing okay. He was in here earlier. I don't know if he still is, but if he is, he's just like napping, so I'm gonna leave him for now. I kind of like what that did already. Looking at the brights, like that does look to be like a pure white in the brightest areas. I'm trying to look at like where how further adjustments will affect different areas of the photo. It's too much. I'm going in this direction to brighten everything up. Hey! Oh hey, Vontography! Yeah, we're doing Photoshop today. This is still not what I want. This is what I want. Craftius! Oh, thank you! Donated $20, which I assume it came in the form of the other floor mats. So thank you so much. Yes, those are going to be used for the photo shoot this coming weekend. So I'll make sure that those get purchased in time. And those will be to kind of create the effect of like a fake wooden floor in the area. This is kind of a low-res like photo set that we're putting together, and so a lot of the background pieces and like the flooring aren't necessarily going to be like in sharp focus, but they will be there as background elements to make things look a little bit more filled out in the environment that we set up. So alright, I kind of like how this is looking. It's a lot brighter, it's a lot sharper, and you can see like a lot of the like color around the photo, which like, I mean, like you see the colors that are like in the background because there's sort of like a lens flare. I mean, not like a real lens flare, but there's light hitting that, and there's like a gradient in the background that is natural. That's not something that I added in, but now I'm gonna add more stuff in. So let's take a look at this. I forget what I want to do. I guess I just make a fresh layer like this. What did I have on my layer one? I guess nothing. I don't know why I made an extra layer that I didn't do anything with, but maybe that was before I decided to do curves. Yoshi Murphy is still working on Chainmail Dragon. I saw what you tweeted at me. It was looking really good. I'm gonna fine tune this a little bit more maybe. Or try to, push the brights a tiny bit more. Without losing kind of these mid highlights. Yeah, that gives a little bit more separation from the background for the face. I like that. Okay, cool. Well, I'm happy with that. It's nice and vibrant. I want to kind of exaggerate these pretty colors down here, so I'm gonna grab, oops, not that. This is where those colors are living. And kind of figure out from this layers, yes. From this layers, which is all gonna be under the curves, I will start doing different gradients and stuff and just kind of exploring and messing around. Revival Jan, thank you so much for hanging out. I will see you later. Have a good rest of your evening. Okay, so working with a gradient tool, I want to go for the circular gradient, and I don't remember, I think I need it to be reversed. No, this is what I want. Okay, but not that. That's not what I want. Oh yeah, that's why I made this second layer in the first place. That's what happened. Let's see what colors I get in here. It's pretty. First of all, I will set this to some different settings first. This is interesting, actually. I like that. I think I just like having it spread a little bit more and a little bit less visible. I can also layer this, like do one at a super low opacity that's like pretty spread out, and then an additional gradient. Let's try this. Will be I don't know, I still feel like that needs to be a little bigger. I don't know, that's a bit much. I kind of want to separate the subject from the background to do that kind of stuff and have the light actually behind and not in front of the face, because that's what's what I'm not liking about how that is working out. Why did my color picker look all gradient-y when like that when I opened it? Are you talking about over here? Because this is got a lot going on here. Stream labels, that's what I want. Artful Jackalope donated $135. Was that that must have been an item. Sorry. My thing down here doesn't show it, but that had to be this isn't what I want, sorry. OBS. Can I replay it now and actually look at it? Sorry for my like horrifying screen. It's impossible to see. Yes! Okay, it's the compact drill driver. Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I can't wait to have actual tools to work with. One of the things that's making set building so expensive to start doing is because I don't have a lot of the tools that I need to kind of start building up you know, a variety of set pieces. And so thank you so much for that driver that I will purchase right away. It will be an immediate asset to the stuff that I'm building, so I'm excited for that. I'm gonna do some other stuff and just kind of mess around. No, that's really harsh. Adds a little bit of color in on this side. Do I like it? I don't think it's necessary. There's a lot of reflectiveness down here, and I feel like I lose that when I'm adding in like a false shadow. Oh, I'm so excited to start building more stuff. I started building like some foam walls, which were wonderful, and those are going to make an appearance very soon. in my photo shoot for this coming weekend. And it's kind of interesting. It makes the shadows a little bit more dramatic without being like a normal vignette. I'll at least use that on a low opacity because I like what it's doing there and kind of bringing the attention back in this direction where the face is. Okay, well, I don't want to mess with this one photo for too long. This one is okay at a low opacity. Yeah, there's an edge there. I might move on to editing more photos. So this is at 0% where there is no like false colorization in the back. I can bring it up super bright. It's not really adding much to it. It's 15%. I hate when it just like spontaneously starts showing extras. Why do I have web only color selected? Because I haven't changed that setting since I originally did it. Skull Sword is also correct because I'm gonna eventually post it to web. But if there's a better setting that I should be working on, then you know, let me know. But I just haven't messed with it, and those are like the defaults that it comes with. This looks okay. I'm gonna turn it down a little bit more though, because it looks like a little bit overpowering to me. 8%, yeah, that's fine. Okay. This is pretty. There's stuff going on that I like. I don't want to mess with it too much because I don't have like a really specific vision for how I want it to be different. So I'm just going to move on and keep working on more photos, including this one that I really, really like. This is what I want. Starting with my frequency separation again, although I don't think there's too much to do to this because there's not a lot of skin visible. Just turn the check mark off. Yeah, I mean, I do that from time to time, but I'm also planning on posting it to the web, so it's like, I don't know. If I were working more with like print in mind, I guess I would care more about like utilizing more colors than that. But I don't really feel limited at this point, at least in the way that I'm using color currently. It looks a little bit too yellow toned, Rough Snap is saying. Talking about the previous one. I think that the white balance is actually fine because when you're looking at the whitest areas, you're seeing blue tones and like kind of warmth together. There's like a balance there that I think is nice. I can see why you would say that because it is like a kind of sunset shot. I think this one is too yellow toned and that's something that I'm going to be looking at. But I like the way that that one is set up and that's how I'm going to edit it. Okay, so we'll do a little bit to the face here, but it doesn't need as much as the other one did, just because it's not nearly as visible. First of all, in the texture layer, I'm going to get rid of my weird mole, and I think I'm going to get rid of this wrinkle too. It's not really adding anything, it's a little odd. And in general, the idea is just to make things look nicer and cleaner, so that's what we're doing. Okay, so this is softening the appearance of the wrinkle, but it's not disappearing 100%, which I am totally okay with. Because I don't want to totally lose, like, natural shapes. But I do just, like, want things to look nice. To look clean. Yeah, this is all working in the texture layer, so hopefully additional changes to color will make this look even better. I'm kind of going to clean this up first. I think it's easier to see right now. Alright, now taking that off entirely and working here with color. I'm gonna do back to the dodge tool a little bit right here. Oh, that exposure is up too high. That was more than I wanted. I'll bring this back down to like 2%. So that's a much more subtle change. Just kind of brightening this area down here. Okay, I'm still gonna do a little bit of blending with my healing tool over here. But otherwise, I like how it's looking. Oh my gosh, I missed some of this. We should all get a cat. I agree. I would like to get a second cat. That's my my goal is second cat. Oops, I pressed the wrong button and did the wrong thing. Here we go. I'm gonna clean this up a little bit up here. Yeah, I want to get a second cat really badly. Somebody to keep Aries company while we're away. Okay, back on the texturing layer, I'm still going to try to clean that up slightly. Does the song just change itself mid-song? Interesting. Maybe this is a medley. Okay. Starting to be pretty pleased with that overall. Let me take another look at like the shoulder area. Yeah, there's hardly anything visible there. Okay. And the rest of the face looks pretty good. So, not much we needed to do there. I'm gonna copy this group, merge it, and then I'm gonna do a little bit more cleanup to this ear. Yeah, we can use this healing tool to try to blend this seam more. Which that actually looks fine, didn't take very much at all. Hey! Missed Manx just subscribed to Twitch Prime, thank you so much. Checking in with the chat here, everyone's talking about their cats. I can't wait to get another cat. Red Bar is Cool is asking, is Aries the first cat I've ever had, or had any other pets during my lifetime? I've owned cats before. I had a cat that was like my cat between middle school and high school, but it disappeared. I don't ever know what happened to that cat. That was an indoor-outdoor cat that never came home eventually. And I've had other indoor cats that were like family cats that belonged to like my sister and my mom as well. And my dad, and like separately. The cats had joint custody. We had just joint custody over the cats. Anyway, so I've had various other cats, but Aries is the first cat that I've had like in my adult life where like I was solely responsible for getting him, taking care of him, etc. And I didn't purchase him. Actually, I didn't purchase him at all. I got him from a neighbor of a friend after he was born. So he was like sort of living on the streets, but sort of just like a kitten from, you know, somebody who had them to give away. So I just walked over there and was like, can I have one of your kittens? And he was like, yeah, you can, and reached under the car and handed me Aries. So that was the story of how I got Aries, but he's the first one that I've like had full responsibility over as an adult. So I take that very seriously. Alright. I'm trying to decide how bright this needs to be before it's losing detail or interfering with like the color. Which I think that's about good. It's slightly brighter than how I had it before. Oh, and here I can... I actually think that brightening the highlights isn't the issue. I need to brighten up some of the midtones so it's not super harsh and contrasty, but also not totally lose the shadows that I put in here. Which I think just taking them up, that like mattifying effect, is kind of nice. Anyway, Aries has a special place in my heart and a special relationship with me. That's not what I wanted. Because I have cared for him since he was born and had him since his kittenhood. And because he is like solely mine and not like a family cat. Although now, of course, he's Jared's and my precious son family. Fontography, thank you for the information about the web standard colors. I guess I just need to turn that off then. Yeah, I love cat cosplays. They are great. They live in the Seattle area, and so I haven't actually met them in person, but Jared has, the guy who makes all the costumes for the cats. And the cats are like very friendly apparently, and the smaller one, Knack, will go to Ren fairs and like ride around on their shoulders, and is just like a Ren fair cat, which I really think is cool. Jared cannot actually, not Jared, Aries, oops. Aries cannot actually be a cosplay cat because he doesn't like wearing clothing, number one. And number two, he's really terrified of everything, so he can't go anywhere. You know, that really limits his ability, his potential as a cosplay cat, I think. These are quite nice, but quite different. This one does seem really harsh and kind of yellow to me. Okay, I'm gonna do another curves layer. Oops, no, not that. That's not what I wanted. Only this one I'm gonna do in different channels. Starting with green. That's interesting. Taking a little bit of green out of the shadows is actually quite pretty. It's not totally what I needed for this, but I think I need to adjust blue. So let's do that. Yeah. So I don't actually want to mess with the shadows on that. I want to bring it slightly up overall, but just barely. I think that's nice. It's a brighter white and the skin looks a little bit better. So that's what I was hoping for. With that. And green again, just taking a look here. Try to limit it to being just the shadows to get that more dramatic effect. But if I do let it kind of influence more, how about like just the halfway point? I think that's probably pretty good. And so now those kind of purple tones are more pronounced throughout the image. Okay, one thing that I definitely want to do here that I just now remembered or looked at is that there's like just the barest edge of sky visible back here, and it's not really serving the image. So I'm going to actually zoom back in. I zoomed out so you could see like more of that edge. I'm gonna zoom back in, zoom up onto this. I'm talking about this like blue. I'm also gonna get rid of this guy. So I'm here on this layer, which was kind of the frequency separated, merged back together. Just checking the chat again. Everyone's still talking about cats. Hey, I'm super down for cat convos. Yes, please tell all of each other about the cats in your lives. Okay, I'm gonna grab the polygonal lasso tool. I'm also gonna make another copy of this layer. Is this okay? Sorry, I don't want that. I want the regular lasso tool. That's what I'm trying to do. I could do that. Polygonal, I guess is how you pronounce that. I'm gonna try to select only the areas that are blue. Basically, is what's happening. And then I'm gonna do just a content-aware fill. There we go. So just because this was like on the very edge of like the top of the wall, I feel like having that like just the barest hint of the sky is actually like distracting, because you don't really know, like you don't really see enough to have like real information about what it's, you know, supposed to be there. It just looks distracting to me. So I am also going to just get rid of this, which I don't probably need to. I could probably use the clone tool or something for this, but I'm already on a roll, so we're just going to continue. I don't need to get rid of the whole pole because it doesn't bother me. It's kind of there with a tree. Alright, yeah, that looks better to me overall, because it's less distracting. So I pretty much like this one as is. I'm trying to think if there's much of more I want to do to that. Alright, let's see, it's 4 o'clock. I've been going for an hour. I've got 3 more photos out, and I've done 2 so far. So I think I might at least move on for this one for right now. Let me look back at these others. I really like this one. This like pinkish color. Here, I'm gonna get rid of this. I'm going back to this layer, this one for a minute, because I don't know, sometimes I'm unsatisfied with where I'm at one point, and I have to like take a break, come back and look at it again, and be like, oh, this is how I feel about it. Okay, no web colors. They don't need to be on. So here's like a brighter red, and I'm gonna grab just like a huge soft brush. That's way too huge. No. I also want the hardness all the way down. Be a little bit bigger. No, that's too much. Okay, let's see how that goes. Green is interesting because it brightens everything. Let's check out some more light overlay, which is too dark. Linear light options, I don't like any of those. Hue isn't bad, but it doesn't add a lot. And I can also adjust the opacity by a lot, which I think that helps a lot because this hard light at a much lower opacity isn't so bad. Let's look at some of the other lighting options. That's kind of nice, vivid. Might bring it down slightly more. Cool. All right, and that also kind of narrows the attention back down towards the face. So I like that a lot. All right, let me look at some of the other photos I brought out. I have two. Okay, so those two are a little bit more distinct. We just worked on those. I might come back to this one too and decide, oh, this needs special tweaking too. But we'll move on. The other three that I have out here are all drawn bow photos. I wish I had more of these and I wish they were better, honestly. It was really hard to pick this up. And we shot these at like the end of the day where my strength is like all the way running out. My stamina is like completely depleted almost. And so I was doing my best to carry this bow around and I had been doing well all day and I had been refusing to lift the bow for photos for people, for other random photographers, because I knew that I did not have the strength to be like taking orders all day and just like lifting it willy-nilly. So I saved it for the very end. So this was like the very last bit of my strength at the end of the day, having more carry this around all day. And I was definitely really tired, but you know, I did well enough to lift it this high. I also have trouble physically lifting my arms like to full extension when I'm wearing these pauldrons because there's just not room for that. So that's a complication for holding a bow as Zelda, but I did my best. So the first thing I'm starting with again is this frequency separation. I'm gonna go back to dodging and burning a little bit. I also have a shadow of this bow string straight across my face, and I'm going to try to get rid of that. I'm going to do that separately from the frequency separation, but I'm going to try to get rid of that entirely. Oh, okay, sorry, wrong. No, wrong button, sorry guys. Okay, and now going to the color layer. I can hear Jared recording downstairs more episodes, so that means I know that he just popped in to say hi on my stream even though he's still working. That's kind of cute. That's nice of him. So I'm just kind of brightening the shadows in the lower portion of the face, similar to how I did earlier on the last stuff. Looking back on here, just checking in with the chat again. Do I use a professional photographer? Asks Rio Mitsui. No, not really. These photos were taken by my husband Jared, and so he's kind of new to doing photography in this style, or really much like photography at all. But he does a lot of videography, so he has a good basis for, you know, the principles involved. And so I actually kind of encouraged him to take up photography as a hobby. But he's been like genuinely getting really excited about photography projects and stuff that we have been working on and planning. So it's been a really good matchup, I feel. So I edit his photos, so just like all of them. Since I asked him to do this for me, he like doesn't have time to edit photos. It would be impossible for him to do all of that. So I do the editing and he does the photography, and he's the one you know, clicking the shutter, but it's very much like a group effort for producing the images and like kind of coming up with these visions for certain shots or stuff like that. Alright, the face isn't the main feature here, and I feel like most of the face is kind of accounted for in terms of like cleaning up blemishes. I really want to look at getting rid of the line on my face, because that is really distracting. So I'm actually just going to go ahead and copy and merge those like I normally do. And I'm going to work on doing what I can for this line, this shadow. It continues down the body, which like realistically I need to get rid of both. I need to get rid of the entire shadow in order to make that look nice and like continuous, so we'll do what we can. Is it heavy? The bow, it looks heavy. It is heavy. I couldn't tell you exactly the weight of it, but it's quite a bit, especially when you're carrying it around all day and posing with it and people want you to keep lifting it all the time. But I was really happy to have it. Where did I get the elf ears? These are from Adobe Studios. I've always wanted to make my own, but I just haven't yet. Okay. So now I'm using the healing brush tool, and I'm going to actually like copy and paste sections of my face onto itself. We will be using the clone stamp or the healing brush, whichever one. I'm going to start with clone actually, and then use healing brush to clean things up as I need. And we're going to go like, we're going to get like really up close and personal with my face. Alright, let's see how we can pull this off. So I'm just pulling color from either side. I also probably need to blend this a little bit so that the area that was in shadow is being replaced by tones from the immediate surrounding area. Okay, I do think spot healing brush is probably a better bet for this, because that's kind of synthesizing old and new. Yeah. And this is all on a new layer that I can remove if I so choose. Dead pixels. Yeah, I really like Adobe Studios. Halia, Artisan, is in the chat singing their praises, which I agree with very much. I don't want to lose the shape of my face in these areas, but I think we're doing okay with keeping it pretty consistent in these areas. So there goes the shadow, we're doing it. That one needs to be smoothed out a bit. Where's our healing brush? Just kind of dabbing it a little bit, trying not to go overboard with that one. Cool. And now continuing up the eye. Actually, this is working well too, just for removing this one spot. You can see that shadow even across the eyebrows, so interesting. It's not really visible in the crown area though, so that's nice. Alright, I feel like that eyebrow's pretty well blended. Okay, so that was like most of the face. Let's double check it and see. Make sure that it looks natural like it needs to. Yeah, okay. That's way less distracting. You can see like the actual string does travel in front of the face, which I wish we had gotten a shot where my face was clear, but whatever, we just didn't. I'm going to now remove the rest of this just to match because there's no line above here and look weird, I think. So I'm just going to do the same thing to remove the rest of that shadow. Hey Divinicator, welcome. Excelia heading out. Well, we'll see you later. Oops, canceled. So I'm just gonna use the spot healing tool, you know, until it no longer serves me. It's been doing a great job right now with replacing the pixels as I need them. I might make my brush a little bit bigger. Yeah, that's good. Just disappearing. Just paint it on and disappears. It's nice with really nicely heavily textured fabrics like this too. It makes it even easier to hide stuff like this. So farewell shadow from bowstring. It will no longer interrupt my face or my life. And it does go all the way down the skirt, although it kind of just looks like a wrinkle by this point, so it's not really highly distracting, but we're still gonna just kind of blend it out. I'm gonna take it all the way out with this. I think that's probably pretty good, because down here it does kind of go into the natural wrinkles. Alright, I'm gonna hit save on that one too, and make sure we're saving our work as we go. Crap, I don't even know if I saved this one! I might revisit this one though, that one might not be done. I'm just gonna save those where they are at. But yeah, Jared has been a wonderful photographer. He's been so good to work with. I think I'm gonna do the same thing in this photo where I get rid of the like background because it's just distracting. Like you don't really see what it is. You just know that the wall ends and it's distracting. So lasso tool it is. Or really, you can select it in a number of ways, but I like having a little bit more control. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Well, I guess that's not too tricky because isn't right by the bow. So let's see. My schedule for this week is I'm working on this right now, obviously. I'm working on the photo shoot, like set props. And so that's all happening before this weekend. This weekend, Saturday, is the Aerith photo shoot that will be live streamed from my house. Yeah, it looks pretty nice, actually. And so hopefully by so yeah, if I stay on track to shoot on Saturday, then I will have new images to edit on Monday's stream from the Saturday shoot. So that's my goal currently, is spend all of this week working hard to get ready to do the Aerith photo shoot. Do the Aerith photos on Saturday, which will be live streamed, and then edit them on the following Monday, which will also be live streamed. So you guys can be a part of every last bit of that if you so desire. I like that so much more. I'm going to show before and after on that. This is I got rid of the edge of the fence and the visible sky in the background. Here's what it looked like originally when the photo was taken, and here is what it looks like with those little areas patched in. Just the general idea is to keep the focus on the attention of the viewer on the subject in the foreground, and just not have things in the background that like generally look weird or distracting. With that in mind, I'm gonna snag that tiniest little distracting elements in the background, like that. Maybe that's a piece of trash or something, I don't know. It might just be weird colored leaves or whatever, but it makes me feel better to get rid of it. I can still see a little bit of like the horizontal shape-shifter in here, but I don't mind. I think it looks okay. It looks natural enough. Otherwise, I don't really feel the need to crop this. Let me do some curves adjustments. Redbard, thank you so much. Are you excited for the photo shoot? Because I am. I can't wait to show off everything that I've been working on in terms of like, showing the set pieces, showing the, let me delete this point. I don't like you. The flower wall that I've been working on. I've been putting so much effort into this over time, and it's all kind of culminating next weekend, and I really hope I can stay on track with that because I have other things that I need to be moving on to. So many projects. I don't feel like curves is really like affecting my enjoyment of this very much. It could stand to be like a little bit brighter, but I don't want it to look like too overly overpowering with the contrast. That was like the most subtle change. Okay, I don't think it really needs that. I'm not feeling it. Do I like Kingdom Hearts? I don't really care. I haven't really played a lot of Kingdom Hearts. I know that's like probably blasphemy in my circles, but I haven't really played Kingdom Hearts, so I don't have a strong opinion on it. Loaderbot, welcome. If this is the Kingdom Hearts music, then this is just a part of DJ Cutman's Radio Cutman, which is what we're listening to, which is a continuous mix of different stuff. So I can claim no responsibility for the Kingdom Hearts in the background. It's just what's on. Okay, I have two other images to look at. There's this one, which is a little bit more intense. I wish that this didn't end right where the tree is. I wish I could change that, but I can't. And I also have this one with Midna, which I think this one's more interesting. Let's edit this one. Okay, we're doing frequency separation again. So we always start here. And zoom super far in. And take a look at our faces. Whoa. But yeah, I have a stained glass window to make, so I'm working on that. I'm also working on the pillars. I'm working on the costume itself. Needs like some minor touch-ups, but it's like fixing up the wig. And stuff like that. So the costume itself has been ready. I've made that costume several years ago and I've worn it multiple times, but I've never done like a photo shoot that was not at a convention with it. And so I'm very much looking forward to doing some like photos that are just a little bit more artistic, a little bit more planned and deliberate. And I have some stuff planned that I'm really excited to share. So hopefully that will come across well in the final vision for everything. But thank you guys so much for supporting that project, making that, you know, possible through the stream and through coffee, where I was also kind of raising funds for that. Here we go. I put so much work and effort into that project, and I can't wait to share it with everybody because I've been talking about it for so long. I promise it's coming. It's just one of those things where my vision kind of kept escalating, and I kept discovering more stuff that I wanted to do with it, and I also just kept discovering more things that were useful. So like originally when I decided to do an Aerith photo shoot, I was like, cool, I'll just build a flower wall. That'll be a great, you know, appropriate background for her, and then also like kind of useful, versatile background for other shoots, like their styled fashion, whatever photography that I want to do. So that was my initial goal, was create flower wall for Aerith. I did that. And then I also found a stained glass window, and I also found metal pillars that are like aluminum garden decorations or something. And so I found all of this stuff simultaneous as I'm planning and working on my Aerith shoot, and I was just like overwhelmed by how perfect it was for the type of environment I wanted to create. And so it just kept going. My project grew as I discovered new tools and toys to work with. And so that has made me want to like postpone in order to finish everything, but at the same time I'm like, no, Heidi, do your flower wall shots, do the stained glass window shots, you know. I want to do whatever I can with anything that's ready, and then just hold on to any of those extra materials for next time, because there's going to be so many more photo shoots. Okay, we're going over to the healing brush tool now. To try to even some more of these little spots out. I'm a badass, says Loaderbot. Well, thank you. Jared is doing really well today. He's back. He's just returned. He's downstairs recording. I think he might be done recording for the day, or he will be soon. But Jared's back. Jared went on a little hiatus, but it was really good for him to just kind of take a break for the internet for a while, and it was really helpful for him. So everything's fine now. It was just kind of a little vacation from, I guess, yeah, his job, a normal vacation, you know, like other people take. Blending these colors more. I feel like I just do this Like 90% of editing is just sitting here with the healing brush tool. Find the mixer brush tool for cleaning things up on the color layer. What is the mixer brush tool? I've never used that before. History brush. Mixer brush. What does this do? This is for loading colors. Okay, so let's pick a color from here. This is mixer brush. I have a color. Oh, it's mixing that color in. That's neat. Okay. Good. Alright, cool. Cool tool. I need to be careful about where I'm selecting from. If you have any more instructions or suggestions for shortcuts or something, let me know. That's kind of a lot though. I don't know. Because if you take it very far outside of the correct spot, it just kind of goes everywhere. I think that's a little bit more of a heavy-handed tool, but I like it. I like its potential. It's just, it scares me a little bit. Maybe I need to just fine-tune my, my technique there, my finesse. Zoom back out. I think Zelda face is pretty good. I'm gonna do some, take a look at Midna now. Although with her body paint, it went on pretty smooth. There's a couple areas where I've been patching it up. She's also less in focus. Zelda is more in focus. Sorry, Midna. So I'm smoothing out a couple areas of body paint, but for the most part, it's pretty good still. As far as keeping a nice texture on the face. But yes, I'm excited about doing new photo shoots very soon. I guess SakuraCon was the first weekend of April. I didn't actually do any other shoots all month. I thought I would. I planned to do some and then I ended up not doing them because I had a lot on my plate. But I still have much to do that I'm looking forward to, so hopefully next week it'll be fresh photos. Don't sample with it. Oh, you have a tutorial on frequency separation, Vontography. Okay, I will have to check that out. I haven't used it. Don't sample with it, just use it. Okay, I'll have to check that out. Alright. I'm satisfied with the frequency separation adjustments that I made on this photo. And I don't have to make any changes to the background here. Or at least I already did them if I needed to. I guess this one was pretty good. Give that one a save. Those are the main things that I've been looking at in these photos. I was wondering if I should try any effects like making this bow glow or something, or trying to do, I don't know. She looks like she's in a ready stance, but not in like, not that she's actively casting magic, so it seems like overkill to try to add something like that. I might do some slight alterations to the crop, but there's just not very much that you could do without losing more of the bow. So I think that's how I had it, why I had it cropped at this particular position to begin with. Anyway, I think I'm going to call it a stream now. I've gone ahead and done all the major changes that I want to make to these photos, and anything that changes between now and when I post them will mostly be like fine-tuning little details, and a lot of it will probably be experimentation. I still like this. I still don't like this. The screen. I don't love it. I'm gonna keep messing around with this probably. I like this photo, but I don't love what I've got here yet, so I'm gonna keep experimenting. Anyway, anything I missed here in the chat? I don't think so. Dragsaw is going to get coffee and start their day. Well, enjoy the rest of your day wherever you are in the world that is bright and early. Thanks for joining us. And thank you everybody else for joining us on today's editing stream. I'm pretty happy with some of the new photos that I've got that I'll try to post this week. And then my next stream is Wednesday. I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing. Normally I would say I'd be working on Arwen, but I'm also like trying to do full speed ahead on this Aerith photo set thing. So Wednesday's a little bit up in the air, but it will be happening. There definitely will be a stream. And then Saturday's stream is photo shoot time. So I will hopefully see you guys one of those times. Thanks for joining me on my editing stream today, and I will see you guys next time.